Good morning, it's Dave with the Saltydog. I'm in the bow this morning working up underneath the underside of the bow because I'm having to do some reinforcing. Someone had done some fiberglass repair that was really bad repair, and so I chiseled and cut all of the glass out, and I glassed in a piece up underneath. You can kind of see it there. So I glassed this new piece in, and I've repaired all the holes. There's a big hole that was from the anchor inlet for the chain into the locker. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some high strength plastic. It's called Markalon, and I cut it in the shape of the bow, and I'm going to put this up in there to create a strong attachment point for my new windlass that's going to go in. And then over the top of that, I'm going to glass some material that's like, it's very similar to Kusa board. It's a polyurethane laminate, and it has layers of fiberglass, continuous fiberglass sheet that goes through it, top and bottom, as well as continuous fiberglass strand, not chopped strand mat, but continuous strand. And so I'm going to glass this piece over the top of my Markalon product, and then I'm going to glass this piece on the stern side of that section, and then I'll glass all the pieces together. I plan on using a high strength putty. I'm going to use some bracing to put it up in there, and this high strength putty will bond those pieces together to the deck of the hull, of the bow, and once that stuff is bonded and it's hard, which will take about 5 hours, then I'm going to glass over the top of it with a layer of 1708. So I'm hoping to have this bow repair done underneath this morning, so that I can get to other things. I need to put some deck stiffeners in, and this material here is extremely lightweight, but it's incredibly stiff and strong for the thickness. I'm using 5/8. I contemplated on using 3/4, but because of the shape of the bow, I had to use 5/8, which will be plenty stiff. And what the 5/8 will do is the 5/8 and the Markalon product will fill this drop here. It'll fill this so that it's level with this section. And then I'll have one continuous sheet going across of 1708. I'll tab it into the bow and to the hull itself, and it should be plenty strong for what I'm going to do. I've already got one layer of 1708 on there, which basically bonds this new piece that I glassed in to the existing deck. And then I used strips, thin strips of 1708 across the joints, and then I put a continuous sheet all the way across. So I've got plenty of stiffness, but I'm going to reinforce this because when I put my anchor windlass in there, I want to have enough strength so that my backing plates that I use for the bolts that mount the windlass to the bow will be nice and strong. I'm also planning on making a bow pulpit, an anchor pulpit, so I want to make sure I've got enough stiffness and enough strength in order for that to happen. I've got, once I finish the rest of this repair over here, which I've got about 95% done, I have to re-glass in a bulkhead that goes from port side to starboard on the bow, and it's also going to be mounted to the underside of the deck, so that will further add stiffness up in this bow section. But I want this bow to be extremely strong for walking on it, and I don't want any flex in that bow at all. I don't mind shear flex from the twisting of the boat as it's moving through the water, but I don't want to step on the deck and have the deck give it all. I don't want any movement in this deck. So I'm making a lot of progress. These little things take a lot of time, and you know, they take a lot of thought and a lot of patience, because you're hanging glass upside down, and glass doesn't stick that great upside down. So you have to take your time and work it. Once you wet the surface and then get your cloth up there, you know, it basically takes two people, one to hold it and the other to roll it out and wet out the glass. But once it's done, it's a repair that I won't have to think about a second time. So I'll show you as we go here this progress. I'm fairly excited about this aspect, because once the bottom of the hull is done in the bow, then I can move on to other things. But I will at some point use this same material, this Kusa board type material. It's actually called Thermalite is the name of the company, and it's a great product. It sands easy. You cut it with a jigsaw or a circular saw or table saw, and it cuts very easily. You can sand it and shape it. You can router it. You can do all kinds of things to it, and it doesn't affect it whatsoever. And it's really easy to work with. I was really surprised. Thermalite, the manufacturing plant is out of South Dakota, but I ordered mine from a place down here in Portland, Oregon, and I went down there and picked it up. It came in a 60 by 110 inch sheet, which was nice, because that will give me the entire distance across this bow for this center bulkhead that separates the cabin from the anchor locker. So it's really a nice product. I really like that product. So anyway, I'll get with it, and hopefully we can knock it out today. So hopefully you enjoy some of these videos. Thanks.